These two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
And a statements edition here of Mackey and Judd. Actually, let's talk about MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning first here, Judd. And then we'll get into some of these statements on a Tuesday.
Oh, sounds good. July 1st, folks, it's here. And guess what that means? That means heat. That means muggy weather. That means that the outdoors can be unpleasant at times. But you know what? Your house should always be pleasant. And that's where my friends at MSP come into play here, because they are going to make sure that your AC is running at full strength. That's right. You know what? The AC might be working, but is it really working as well as it possibly can? MSP will make sure that's absolutely the case, especially as we now get into the heart of summer. All you have to do is give them a call, 651-615-4292, or check out their website, callmsp.com, callmsp.com. And when you do, make sure that you let them know Sports Dad told you that they are the best.
That's right. That's right. Hey, the Twins, too. Twins tickets are available. Twins are still trying to grind for a wild card spot, Dex.
Twins.com to find tickets. I believe the largest homestand of the season. Longest homestand.
It's a good one,
season coming up. Cubbies. Got the Cubs. They only come here every other year now, so at least they do get to come here every other year now. So if you're a Cubs fan, Twins fan, you got that coming up here. The Rays have been one of the hottest teams in baseball. Twins.com to learn more about that My Twins membership. The 612 Saturdays. Go to Twins.com for tickets.
All right. First statement for you guys here. All due respect to Grand Casino Arena, but I think it's going to take a lot of work for people to not call it the X. I think everyone probably saw the news that came out. And it's funny, Doogie was like hinting at this months and months ago, that the Xcel Energy Center was going to be rebranded. And it's Grand Casino Arena. But I almost feel like one of the great investments you can make from a marketing standpoint is being the first naming rights organization or company. Because I still call the San Francisco baseball stadium Pac Bell, and I don't even think that company exists anymore.
Right.
I still call the Houston Stadium Enron Field, and didn't they get like
Minute Maid?
Like all those C-level people got
They're
thrown
on
in
their
jail or
third thing
something?
now.
Yeah, back on their third.
Minute Maid, whatever it is now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Staples, right?
Staples.
The Lakers play at Staples, which is now like Crypto.com.
Crypto.com arena. Yeah. So I'm wondering if you guys are going to convert, and are you going to call it Grand Casino Arena? Are you going to fall in line, or are you still going to call it the X?
I might forget. It's going to take me probably a year just to get it right, but I do think that the X will be what people refer to it as a lot still. And here's my question too. So Xcel Energy Center was perfect because you could call it the X. What's the shortened name for Grand Casino Arena?
The Nino.
The Nino?
The Nino. That's a term people use to call a casino. The Nino.
Oh,
okay. I didn't know that.
Is it?
Never heard that one. Yeah.
People call casinos the Ninos?
Yeah.
What it's really?
Yes. A lot of my friends in high school called it there when we would go to the casino. I went to a Grand Casino 2 weeks ago for a bachelor party on a Friday night. We all said we're going to the Nino. Yeah.
This is where Judd and I are just old.
We're going to get ripped again. The comments are just going to attack us.
No cap, Dex. No cap. I'm on urbandictionary.com, and so Nino, Nino was a name for like it could be like an Italian guy but also apparently it's a short term for a casino. Mm-hmm. It's like the fifth different definition on Urban Dictionary.
You, Declan. Just to be clear, I believed you the whole time.
A shortened version of the word casino rolls off the tongue nicely. Yo, I won an extra $5 at the Nino. Time to ball out is the example.
That's exactly what was said at that bachelor party 2 weeks ago. Word for word.
The Nino.
Time to ball out.
This entry was from August of 2010. So apparently people have been calling casinos the Nino for at least
that would
a
make
decade
sense.
and a half.
I graduated high school 2011, and I remember vividly us calling it the Nino, and I was like first going to the casino in my senior year of high school. So checks out.
Yeah. Wow. The more you
More you know.
The more you know.
To answer your question, though, I think it's going to take quite some time for people to stop calling it the X. And I would always bank on, if I was the company, especially if it was a long period of time that the stadium or arena was named after, I would be very confident that I will get bang for my buck for years to come, even if my sponsorship is not the sponsor name of the arena.
Yeah, like that's because, was it a 25-year deal or was it like multiple different deals that Xcel Energy Center signed? There's probably like a 5 or like a 10 and then like a 15 or something. But yeah, you're really buying like at least 5, maybe more years out. Like Staples is getting 5 or 10 more years of marketing after they took their name off that arena.
Partially because crypto.com, again, what's it, the crypt? Like Staples, Staples is easy.
Well, the White Sox, when it was Guaranteed Rate Field,
and
people called it the G spot.
Yeah.
And then so it became a problem for them marketing-wise.
That was an issue.
Which also, awesome. I mean, technically, if you're looking for ways to nickname Grand Casino Arena, you could probably go in that direction too if you wanted to.
Hey, question for those who are into gambling: if and when sports gambling is legalized here, is this a preemptive strike to get like a book in the building? Because they've got one in a bunch of now stadiums and arenas around the league where an actual sports book is in the building.
It could be. I think what's happening in a lot of states where like sports betting has been legalized is the big brands like DraftKings, FanDuel, or some of the other ones. Don't they come in with their own branded? They'll partner with like Native American casinos or brick and mortar casinos.
Yes, and
it'll be like the FanDuel Sportsbook at whatever casino, right?
Correct.
So I don't know. I guess like. Do professional sports leagues allow you to can you can place bets in the arena, right? Yep. If a state okay.
Yep. In fact, I believe that there is there's a sports betting room, if I am correct on this, in Wrigley Field now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And was there one? I'm
part
trying
of
to remember when I went to Busch.
Ernie Banks would never.
When I went to Busch,
Harry Carey would.
One.
Yes. Hey! Parlay!
Steve, what are these idiots doing? I'm losing all my money.
At least recently though, like when 3M Arena bought the rights to Mariucci, that isn't it 3M Arena at Mariucci?
Yes.
They kept Mariucci part of the name
because Mariucci is a legendary figure, and they didn't want to disrespect him. Something similar happened at the end of the Vikings Metrodome era too, where they called it Mall of America Field at Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome.
Yes.
And it was so janky too because there wasn't really a place, and they knew that stadium was short-lived, so they didn't want to do a bunch of construction and spend a bunch of money on the name. So they literally put a banner on the side of the stadium that said Mall of America Field. They probably paid $1,000 for some stretch banner. And that naming right was a 3-year deal, maybe maximum.
But what was weird though was by that point in time, nobody used the name other than Metrodome,
or even just the Dome.
The Dome, right? So that's what they called it.
But they tried so hard every single time there was a press release
Les
or
Frazier.
anything. Yeah,
I'm so excited to get to Mall of America Field at the Metrodome.
At Hubert H. Humphrey Metrodome today to play the Steelers.
God, I love Les. God bless Les. But
it's going to be a great challenge to play the Green Bay Packers at Mall of America Field inside Hubert H. Humphrey Stadium.
You'd all say that.
Judd, it's a good question. It's going to be a challenge.
It's a great question. Mall of America Field, prepared for us, always will be, always has been. Great home field advantage.
So, hey, good luck to Grand Casino on your attempt to get all of us after 25 years to call that arena something different. We wish you the best.
Go ahead, Dex.
I have a question for you guys, and this is a little tougher because we're in sports. We work Sundays, and we're kind of at the mercy of big breaking news where we have to drop what we're doing and react to it, and that could happen at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m., right? But I saw this conversation. I think it was with PFT or was with Big Cat. They were talking about the 4-day work week because it's also now come back up. So if we were, regular accountants, bankers, I don't know, I probably shouldn't be handling money and account management for other people, judging by my math skills. But if we had regular vanilla jobs, Would you guys rather work Monday through Thursday or Tuesday through Friday?
Oh, so the question's not would you rather work a 5-day
No.
or 4-day. It's
Yep.
which 4 days would
Which
you
4
work?
days would you work? So here's the thing. When I was in school, when I was a kid, not in college, but like elementary through high school, I loved having Monday off. Like, loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But as I grew into adulthood and in college, I think in the 4.5 years I spent at St. Cloud State, there was 2 semesters I had Friday classes. I worked my ass off to not have class on Friday to enjoy my Thursday night that much more. So professionally, too, as I've gotten into the workforce and been doing this now, I love having Friday off, I think, as opposed to Monday. And it's hard for, like, we could not have Monday off in sports because, like, we that's the reaction day after the NFL Sunday. Like, we would.
No, but you're getting
be
caught up
punting.
in semantics here because what would happen is if we went to like a universal 4-day work week, it would, just because of like commerce and the flow of the economy, it would become pretty uniform which 4 days people work. It wouldn't be like, well, some people work
Sure.
Friday through Monday and other people work like Monday. It would become sort of uniform that it would be either Tuesday through Friday or the other way. And then what would happen, let's say everyone decided, okay, we're going to take Monday off. Well, then the NFL and these entertainment like sports leagues would put a bunch of games on Monday to take advantage of people not being at work. The NFL would love this. They would essentially spread their games across Sunday afternoon and Monday afternoon. It would open up a whole new world for sports leagues. So then the reaction day would become Tuesday to like the Monday sport, because Monday becomes a weekend day now.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be like, oh, we're off on Monday and they're just like, there's nothing going on. No, these leagues would capitalize on that, right? So I think when you think of like, I'd rather have Monday off, you're thinking of it in the 5-day work week terms.
Yeah.
But if it became normal that Monday was just a weekend day, it would be different.
If I was a 9-to-5er, I would work Monday through Thursday every time. Fridays off are great.
But why are Fridays off great
Because
compared to Monday?
So the start Monday is inevitable. Like
Yes.
you're like it would become Tuesday. I got to go back to work. I personally, for me,
the
I
same
always
thing.
love the anticipation of the off day, and the longer that the weekend goes on, the more that I don't enjoy the last day. So like,
But these are like semantics, aren't they?
no, I'm
What am
saying,
I missing?
I'm saying I like the front end of the. So to me, if I worked Monday through Thursday, Thursday becomes Friday, which is more enjoyable, and then Friday I'm hyped up. Saturday I'm hyped up.
And you still
Sunday
have
I'm
Sunday.
like, yeah, right, exactly,
Sunday's normal.
right, and then I go
Yep.
back to work on Monday. But to me, the start of the work week is inevitable. So you can push it, but I still don't enjoy. Instead of not enjoying Sunday as much, which I don't, I now just wouldn't enjoy Monday as much. But Thursdays, which I already think are a great day, would be even more fun for me.
Yeah, and I think what I'm saying is if you're getting the extra day off in a vacuum and the rest of the world continues to work, I see your point. Let's start the weekend a day early and whatever. And then we'll align our work week when everyone else jumps in on Monday.
Sure.
But what I feel like the exercise is from, because I saw this floating around the internet too, is if it was a universal 4-day work week,
Yep.
then and we all decided that Monday was the day that you got off, then Sunday would no longer feel like Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday would feel like Saturday, and Saturday would feel like Friday because Monday would feel like the new Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
It does, but what I'm saying is I still enjoy the anticipation of the day off more on the front end. So I would prefer.
I know what Judd's saying.
But it's
personally-
3 days no matter what. Like,
Right,
you're,
but
what are
I'm-
you anticipating differently
Right.
if it's.
But what I'm saying
What
is
if it was day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7?
because I would rather get back to work on Monday. Like I want Monday to be a work day, and so I would rather go Monday through Thursday, Fridays off. I personally think this is just a preference thing though. So like you
But no matter what, you're getting 3 days off.
right, but I'm manipulating the days to be like I want them to be. That's the difference.
This feels like the Shaq gas tank argument, where Shaq was like, No, you fill up your tank halfway, and then you only pay $20, and then you fill. And Kenny's like, well, but you're putting the same amount of gas in.
Right. It's perception.
Yeah, like you're perceiving Monday to be a thing that it is in our current culture.
Yes.
But I'm saying if the world agreed that or the country agreed that it's 3 days off, and Monday perception would be different. Monday perception would be different. Tuesday would be the day that like everyone starts their work week.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Stella agrees. I take it over there, Judd.
Stella's upset. Stella was upset during Royce. Then she was quiet, and now Mom's gone.
And
So
she's just
mailman,
just
mail
lashing
lady.
out.
Mom's now she doesn't hear well. I don't think it's that. I think she thinks she sees things outside. But I do put up a pillow wall fortress so she can't see outside.
Seems to be working well.
And ordinarily it does work. It's not working great, but with Mom gone, it makes it more difficult. She's sort of salty because she's left here with Dad. It's all.
What's funny though is she thinks that she's protecting you from danger. That like in her mind, she's saving your life right now.
Yep.
I think she's just being difficult.
I shouldn't have even. It ended up being nothing. But in the light of recent news events, someone knocked on my door yesterday, like a door-to-door salesman, and for whatever reason, I opened
was
the
it
damn door.
1950? Like who's doing that?
What are you doing?
It was someone who was. They're doing like window work, like classic. Like they're going around the neighborhood looking for window work and siding work. And afterwards, my wife was like,
"Go to LinkedIn."
Did you seriously open the door in light of what's recently happened? And I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Didn't even think of it.
Dude, what have I been telling you? My sports son, what have I been telling you long before the tragedy happened? What have I been telling you about never get the door? I had a woman who was rapping on my door yesterday. Now, and Stella was going crazy, well, like that. And so I'm like, I'm not going to get that. But we've got a guest room here. So I, of course, then went and looked to see. And she was, but it was weird because I also heard like a tapping on the door. Then I'm like, what's she doing? Like, because, are you opening my door or something like that? She was leaving a note on it about something. Oh, it said, I saw your house and it looks like your roof has not been redone in a long time after the recent storms. And she taped it to my door.
Dude.
Yeah.
I ripped it off. I threw it away. Get out of here.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I feel like there's a list of things that maybe were socially acceptable like 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago that are no longer socially acceptable. Knocking on people's doors is one. Number two, asking to borrow someone's phone that's a stranger.
Yeah, that's got to stop.
Like during the payphone days, you just like went to a payphone. But now it's like, if you walk up and ask to borrow my phone because something's going on with you, unless you are like, if I can see that there's something physically wrong or you're being chased or something, even that might be a scam. But there's things that like 20 or 30 years ago, 40 years ago, people knocked on people's doors, right? It's how you like,
well, yeah,
you couldn't send a text message. You just go knock. It was standard practice in society to knock on people's doors.
Back then I didn't answer.
I feel like you can't, like you shouldn't be knocking on people's doors for really any purpose outside of major emergency crisis need to get a hold of someone.
But even that's not trustworthy.
It's terrifying.
That's how people get in your home. Oh, my car broke down outside. I've been in an accident.
There's three other people, on the bushes that
I'm sorry. I'm out.
God.
I'm out. You know what I'll do? If that were to happen to me, I will yell through my door, do you want me to call 911? I'll be happy to summon them.
Yeah.
But I ain't answering my door for you to come in. And the thing too is, to your point, Phil, it's no longer like, just from a technology standpoint now, right? Why would you knock on my door? Like if you need to get me a message about roofing, either find my email or buzz off.
Yes.
And also back in the day, when there was delivery services, the proliferation that there are now, you used to have to sign for packages.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if UPS came and rapped on your door and you saw the big brown truck outside, you answered it and, would get a notepad and sign it. That's not necessary now. Like there's no compelling case to answer your door anymore.
Can I add another thing to the socially unacceptable list? And maybe I'm a little early on this. Cold calling people. Like just straight up picking up the phone and cold calling someone. No, I mean, okay, grandpa, grandma, mom, like there's some exceptions here. But I feel like, okay, text, even like leaving a voicemail.
Yeah, that's out.
That's
Text
outrageous.
message,
Text. Oh, it's text.
email.
Yeah.
In fact,
You
text.
know.
In fact, I prefer, aside from like Royce, I prefer that you text me that you're going to call me, or ask, "Can I call you right now?"
Yes.
Like if you need to talk to me,
Yeah.
do you have time for a call, as opposed to just
I don't disagree with
cold
that.
calling?
That's
and
fine.
now I'm recording, but my phone, is.
But are we early on this? Like, is it?
No,
Because
I'm
people
50
still cold call. I just feel like it's like it was 20 years ago. It's the only way that you call people. You just like you didn't text. You just called someone.
I think you're right, Grandma, Grandpa. If your parents are old, then I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like as far as like your friends, they should never call you.
Coworkers.
No, never, ever, ever.
I FaceTime a lot. I FaceTime like one of my friends. I FaceTime. Probably FaceTime him 3 times a week. No exaggeration. Just a
You just like you cold call them via
cold
FaceTime.
call, face call.
What are you doing?
Cold call, FaceTime call. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I
then
feel like there's like certain. I almost feel like a FaceTime is different than a call.
totally.
Because a
But-
FaceTime is like, okay, my buddy wants to hang right now
Yeah.
or something, right? Or has like something important.
What's the incentive to FaceTime, which I don't do?
I think it's just more of like a visual, and it's less. It's less. It's,
I mean, I just
That's
It's more
archaic.
personal. you
Yeah, it's
know?
more personal.
yeah, I just prefer to text. I text my friends now.
I really wanted.
I rarely talk to my friends ever.
I'm ruining it now because it could have been a great social media bit. But have you guys seen the bit of people calling like their in-laws, their dad, and just saying, "Hey, I'm going to bed."
Yes.
I wanted to do that to Judd so bad.
Oh, we should have talked offline because my wife brought that up and said you guys should do this with Judd.
Judd.
I probably wouldn't pick up.
Have you seen this, Judd?
No.
It's literally like, and
I mean,
it's a guy thing because like guys don't we're not as touchy feely or whatever. But it would be like if Declan just called you at like 9:45 and you answer and he's like, "Hey, buddy, hey, just want to wish you a good night. Have a good sleep."
Going to bed.
Now, unfortunately, I think I would have spoiled it though, because I probably wouldn't have picked up and then texted you what's up.
What's up? Yeah.
Like I don't think I would have picked up.
Then you call back again. If he calls back again, you'd probably answer at that point. Feels like more of an urgent situation.
Maybe.
And it's like 9:45, 10 o'clock. Why is he calling me? It must be serious.
But
But
I mean,
I-
How's it going?
I FaceTime my brother doesn't live here, so like I do FaceTime him and my nephews probably like once a week or like a few times a month just to like say hello and see them.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I like even call log. Let me pull up call log here. FaceTime.
your relatives make sense. I just don't know if
My
I need to see
mother-in-law
your
called
friends.
me like last week.
Was that a cold call or did she text you, "Hey, do you have time for a call?"
That was, I think, a cold call.
Okay.
I think.
I hope it was important.
I'm curious to see what the listeners think. Is it a little sociopathic? In 5 years from now, you're all going to agree. I think we're maybe early on this one.
I think
You know
texts have changed everything though. Yeah.
It has. We've been talking for months about our friends at Pep's Pizza who make legit pizza. We've talked about legit pizza. So there's another incredible frozen pizza made by Pep's, and it's a familiar name, Green Mill Restaurant Pizza.
Oh yeah, baby.
A Minnesota favorite now in your freezer. So if you've ever dined at one of the iconic Green Mill restaurants, you already know.
One last week.
Oh, look at those things cut into squares too.
Yeah.
Tavern style pizza, unique recipes, premium ingredients. You can find Green Mill restaurant pizzas and more, including soft breadsticks, sauces at your local grocer. And you can learn more at greenmillfoods.com, the iconic, legendary Green Mill restaurant. Speaking of iconic and legendary, too, Federated Mutual Insurance Company. So coming up later on this month here is the 21st Annual Federated Challenge supporting Big Brothers Big Sisters, hosted by Federated Insurance. It's a 2-day gala, and over the last 20 years, they've raised almost $60 million for youth mentoring, and 100% of that money goes directly to Big Brothers Big Sisters and the Federated Challenge Scholarship Program. So it's a great cause, millions of dollars raised over the years. July 27th is the gala this year, and then the golf event at Hazeltine the next day. You can visit federatedchallenge.org to become a sponsor. That's federatedchallenge.org. Judd?
All right, here's mine. My statement is this. NBA and especially Gary Bettman and the National Hockey League, I need to fix your drafts, okay? The NBA is simple. 2 days, unnecessary. I know what you're doing, but like just make it 1 day. It actually was perfect. It went fairly quickly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things about that draft that were done well. I think if you just go back to what you did previously, that's fine. But the NHL is another story, okay? I don't know if you guys saw this, but the first round of the draft, which by the way was the first decentralized draft, which means the teams used to all be gathered, like the GMs and stuff, and make picks. They decided to go the football route now, which is, it's still an off-site event, Los Angeles in this case. The teams were all at their facilities because that's what they wanted, because it's simpler to communicate, make phone calls, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But the first round of that draft took 4 hours and 28 minutes.
What?
For the NHL draft.
Why?
It
That's
took
nuts.
4 hours and 28 minutes.
How long are you on the clock for? Like, what does each team get?
3 minutes, 4 minutes? I don't know.
Well,
three minutes. It's stupid.
Well, no, but the math doesn't. I mean, like, you're on the clock with the first overall pick. You get 10 minutes? You said
no,
3?
No, it's like 3 minutes. It's not that long.
But then how do you go 4 hours?
Here's how. So they basically decided, we're going to get creative. We're going to have something called the Draft House on stage, which is a door that opens to this huge. And every kid that gets picked, the team that picks him is going to have an executive, their GM, talk to the draft pick. And you're going to get to hear this. Then the kid is going to be pulled off to the side by a person who's there with him, and she will interview the kid. Okay, so here's the fix. It's very simple. I don't care how you do your draft. Decentralize, centralize. Your job, you are not football. You aren't. Your job is to show the draft. That's fine. I get that. Everybody does. And get it done as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
I don't need to see some kid talking to or some GM uncomfortably talking to a kid. Like, to me, this is what I liked previously so much about the NBA draft. They got their place, right? Which is, you don't need to be football. You don't need to draw this thing out. You make your picks.
Put a pin in that, because I got something on the NBA draft when you're done ranting about the NHL draft. They're not going to get out of this unscathed either. But my point is, previously the NBA, I thought, did a pretty good job of getting in and out. And we knew who the picks were, and that was fine. And there was analysis. But you did not need to make it. I mean, 4 hours and 30 minutes, essentially, for your hockey. Yeah. Know your place in life. Get that sucker done in 2 hours. Seriously, the first round, too, dudes. The first round. Get it done. 2 hours. I don't care how you do it. The other thing is, nobody knows, aside from like maybe the top 2 picks, who any of these kids are.
They also like I was, because I could hear it from the back. I had it like on in the background on Friday when I was like making dinner or doing something, and they had like celebrity, like Phil Bailey from WWE.
Yeah, celebrity picks.
Like, she announced the Sharks pick at like pick 2.
That's another problem.
It's like, what are we doing? Like, Bailey, go on SmackDown, or like also just have the GM announce it. What are we doing with these special cameo announcements?
They're trying to make it more of an event.
They are. So Charles Barkley via satellite did the Flyers pick, and of course he's hilarious, but he also rambled on and on. I mean, the whole thing was just, they're trying to act like they're important. When it comes to your draft, it's not.
I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem with trying to be more relevant and create an event. It's just, it's hard when no one knows who the players are, which is part of the problem with every non-NFL draft.
Yep.
My question to you is, when those players are getting drafted and there's trades and stuff, are they wearing the hat of the team that they're actually going to?
Yes.
In the NHL?
Yes.
They are.
The NBA is the only league that does what you're about to talk about.
Dude, it is. The NBA draft has become impossible to follow unless you are like, unless you have your own multi-arrow directional whiteboard or spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So at least, by my count, at least a third of the NBA players drafted in the first round put on a hat of a team. Like, a trade has been agreed upon in principle for the 10th overall pick, the big Rockets Suns trade for Kevin Durant, right?
Sure.
It was widely reported days before, like 2 days before the draft. So the Rockets no longer have the 10th pick because it's going to the Suns, but they can't complete the trade for a few more days because the NBA puts their draft before the league year start. So you literally have a dude going up to the stage or whatever, putting the wrong team's hat on 10 to 15 different times. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. I agree.
And it becomes impossible to find. It's like, is my team on the clock? Kind of, not really. I don't know. Right. And then it'll say like, this pick was traded here, routed to this team, arrow to this team. It's because it was traded like 3 times. So it's just, I feel like even with NBA free agency and NHL to some extent too, the leagues need to simplify the draft and free agency for marketing and fan purposes.
And basketball with these contracts, I have no idea what's the stretch clause,
the stretch provision, dude.
The stretch provision, the stretch mark clause.
Let's sit under the learning tree. So yeah, basketball. If you weren't confused enough by the biannual exception, if you're over the cap, you can leverage the taxpayer mid-level exception or the non-taxpayer or the biannual exception, or trade exceptions in some cases. And today, a new one came about. This was not new, but this has happened before. The Bucks used the stretch provision on Damian Lillard. Torn Achilles, out for the season, 2 more years left, over $100 million on that contract. And they said, yeah, we can't do this anymore. So they essentially are able to add 3 more years to the duration of the accounting, stretch his contract over 5 years instead of 2 years to limit the cap hit to get a new player in. It's like, I mean, I guess we're immersed in it, so we can kind of explain it to some extent. But it's just, it's all gotten too confusing.
I can't. I got no shot.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was such a thing as a stretch provision. I will say this, the last thing about these drafts too, aside of course from football, is can somebody come up with a telecast that doesn't try to, and this was the painful thing. So I think ABC had like a telecast and then ESPN had a different one, but in hockey did this as well. Can somebody come up with like a conversational draft show where you're actually like talking about potential trades? Like, it's ridiculous when Stephen A. Smith's trying to break down a kid. He has no idea who that kid is. And quite frankly, I don't give a damn. Yeah. Like, I would much rather have almost like a round table, reckless speculation, what might happen. And if you want to mention the kids, that's fine. But I don't need to know what you have read from a research person about a player that you have no idea what that player is.
ESPN for the NBA draft, they had 2 different broadcasts. They had the ABC and then the ESPN. They had a bunch. They had Stephen A. and like Bob Myers on one. Then they had Jay Billis and a couple other people. And I felt like for that particular night, Jay Billis is the best at telling you who the players are because he's a college and NBA commentator. He's broadcast all their games. And maybe somebody else. And then Bob Myers ran the Golden State Warriors dynasty. So he can kind of tell you like what the evaluations are or like what the process is.
Yes.
I was like, you guys have 15 people across 2 different broadcasts. And all I really want to hear is Jay Billis tell me who the players are and Bob Myers tell me how to build a team. Not Stephen A. just like making things up about French players. But
I also want speculation about how this affects the free agent approach. What you think
and that's a different desk. That's like the reckless speculation desk over here.
I mean, if you should turn anything into a pseudo talk show, it's a draft.
Yeah,
for basketball, hockey, and baseball,
kind of to experiment with it for sure. So, anyways,
great idea.
Covered a lot of ground there on this.
Paid for this idea.
Which idea? Oh,
like I taught. Oh, I sense a Substack coming. I smell Substack.
That's Judd/sub.stack at Zolgad.
I need help with that name.
.net. Well, we should buy you a domain.
No, that's what I need, but I don't know how to do it.
It's like $15. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, Mackey and Judd, write that down. Predictions tomorrow. The OG Score North podcast, fixing the world's problems.
Get out of here.